Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have created this look with none other than the Jaclyn Hill Master Collection brushes. I told you guys previously that I could not wait to get my hands on this, and guess what? I got it. So I decided to sit down and create this look so that way I could test out the brushes, give my opinion on it, and tell you guys whether or not I would recommend these brushes. So if you guys want to either A, get this look, or B, figure out what I have to say about these brushes and watch them in action, then definitely keep on watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Move your feet and feel it in the space between. You gotta give yourself a moment, let your body be.
Okay guys, getting started, I am taking the JH36 and I'm taking in Light in the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I am putting that into my crease as my transition shade. It doesn't really show up, but that's what I'm using. And then moving on to the JH31, I am using that with Pukey in the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I am putting that in my crease as well. I realized that of course these are new brushes, so you kind of like have to fluff them out a little bit before you go in with shadow, or else it's not going to show. So that's exactly what happened to me. I had to fluff it out and boom, there was color. Then moving on to the JH33, I used this with the Modern Renaissance palette and I used the shade Love Letter. I forgot to show you guys the palette, but that is the shade I'm using from that palette, and I am just working that to define the crease almost. I also realized that using, which is like this next brush, the JH37, this is the Buffer Blender brush, and I'm using that on my outer corner. Maybe I was using the brush wrong, but I realized like these darker brushes, the black bristled ones, don't really show pigment that well. You kind of like have to finesse the brush to actually like work it in there. She does have a mixture of natural and synthetic hairs in the brush collection, but the black bristled brushes are natural according to her site, and they just didn't work for me. So now taking the JH41, I'm just carving out my lid with some concealer, and then I'm going to take that same brush, dip into Royalty in the palette, and just apply that on top of that.
Using the JH03, I'm going to take my foundation and blend that in. I'm just gonna dot it on my face. Now, because this foundation is not full coverage, I don't expect this brush to like make it look that way. The brush is really soft though, I will say that. It's super soft. It kind of reminds me of another Morphe brush that I have. I don't have it over here right now to tell you what number it is, but I'll have it in the description down below what brush I'm talking about. But they seem very similar. Blend out both my concealer and my cream contour. I'm going to use the JH08, and I'm going to try and blend out this concealer with that. This concealer is a little bit more tacky, so I don't know how well this is going to work right now. I don't think I really like the way that this brush blends out the concealer. I feel like I have to work extra hard just to kind of like blend it all in. But maybe that's just because of the concealer I am using. This is the NARS in the pot one. This is, so this NARS Soft Matte Concealer. So it might just be that. I'm gonna have to go in with my beauty blender to go over it. I know this is a tutorial on just the brushes, but I'm not trying to look crazy. So I would definitely use this brush to carve out my cheekbones and everything with my bronzer if I'm using a cream, not bronzer, sorry, with my cream contour, but only for cream Like, it gets so precise really in there, and I really like it, especially like my nose area. I can blend out the concealer on my nose and stuff, but just under the eyes with this brush, I don't think I would use this one, but it's still overall a good brush. So to set my under eye with some powder, I'm going to use the JH07. It's just this brush right here. It's like a pointy dome, small pointed dome looking brush. So cute. All right, so I'm gonna use this to put a little bit of powder on it and then set my under eye. I'm not gonna bake, so I'm just gonna lightly dust it on there. The JA05, and I'm gonna use that to powder contour. And this is that brush right here. So I'm just gonna go over it with this e.l.f. powder. This is a nice brush as well. I really like this brush. So this is the brush that I'm most excited for. This is the JH02. This is the bronzing brush. And I'm going to use my favorite bronzer of all time, the Makeup Revolution London Triple Baked Bronzer in Hot Summer of Love, even though summer is coming to an end. I'm going to dip that in there, and I'm just going to bronze my face. Oh my gosh, I really love this brush. This is like my favorite brush, I think. Out of all the brushes I've used, I feel like this is my favorite. I was like so excited for this brush. So using the JH04 for blush, it's kind of like this angled blush brush, but I feel like it's like perfect to get right there on your cheeks. I'm just gonna go into the same e.l.f. palette and use one of these blush shades, probably the more peachy looking one. Getting it right where you need it, like on the apples of your cheeks. I feel like the angle of this brush is just, put a little bit on my nose. But the angle of this brush is just like perfect. Okay, we are almost done. Using the JH10, I'm just going to carve out my bronzer with a little bit of powder. Dip that off to this a little bit. So now I'm going to use highlight, and I'm going to use the JH09. This is kind of similar to the M510. I do have that brush, and sometimes I use it for eyeshadow, sometimes I use it for highlighting, but I know that Jaclyn specifically added this to her master collection because she uses it for highlight, so that's exactly what we are using it for today. So finishing up the eyes, I am just going to grab the Jaclyn Hill palette again and go into that royalty shade. Using the JH43, which looks like this. And I'm going to drag that closely to my bottom lash line. And then I'm going to take the JH39, and I'm actually going to grab the Modern Renaissance palette, go into Love Letter, in which I used earlier, and I'm just going to drag that on my bottom lash line all the way. So that is that. Now I'm just going to add some bottom lash mascara, apply lip, and then I'll be right back to close out the video. So this is the finished makeup look using all of Jaclyn's brushes. I have really nothing bad to say about them. It's not that it's a bad thing, but the more synthetic looking brushes like this, the black ones, versus these whiter ones, was a little bit harder to work with and blend and things like that. But I would still use the brushes, like I really would. to be honest. Now, I do have 3 favorite face brushes, and my number 1 fave is automatically this bronzing brush, the JH02. I absolutely love this brush. I love the way it applied my bronzer and the way that it looked, just the feel of the brush, everything. Like, I really, really love this brush. Also, second favorite would be this brush right here. This is the one I tried for my concealer. Now, although I didn't really like it for the concealer, I really, really love it for the cream contour, and I will definitely continue using it for my cream contour. And lastly is the JH07. This is the one I used for my powder. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me what kind of powder brush I use, but this pointed dome part kind of made it a little easier to, you know, like get under the eyes, get it real nice and pretty, whatever. It's still a really good brush. Now, as far as purchasing the whole master collection, I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, go and get the whole master collection. I mean, it is a whole $165. What I will say is, if you are in need of eyeshadow brushes and you just need a whole set to work with, then yes, by all means get the eye collection, because she has the master collection, but she also has just the eyes and she has just the face. The only thing extra that you're getting is like 2 extra blending brushes in the master collection, aside from those 2 collections by itself. So if you don't need a whole bunch of face brushes or anything like that, then I suggest get the eyeshadow brushes. And if you want, let's say, the bronzing brush, this bronzer brush, you can buy that by itself. So do it like that. But how I would recommend someone on getting these brushes would be based off of their needs, honestly. I mean, they're all really good brushes. They're all really great. But if you're not in need of brushes, then I wouldn't suggest buying the master collection. Me, on the other hand, I have lots of face brushes especially, but I love brushes, and to me, you can never have enough. So buying this master collection was not a buying this master collection wasn't a waste of money, because I'm still gonna get really good uses out of all of these brushes, whether I'm using these ones or my old ones, it doesn't matter. But I just love brushes. You can never have one too many brushes. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed me creating this look with you guys. It is a bit on the dark side, once again, but fall is coming and I'm ready for it. Not really. I wish summer never left, but gotta get ready, right? If you do want to recreate this look, as always, you're more than welcome to recreate any look that I put up here on YouTube, which is kind of my purpose for posting these looks, not only so you guys can just watch, but also so that you guys can recreate. And if you recreate anything that I create, or you get some kind of inspiration off of what I'm putting out, then definitely make sure you tag me on social media. All my social media links will be down below. But I don't have anything else to say other than I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video or vlog, whichever one comes first. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.